evening, race fans, and welcome. It's the NORA Truck Series 2023 right here on VirtualRacing.Network. This is Season 5, Race 8 of 26, and it's presented by Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. Kansas City Speedway is the site for tonight's action, and it should be a thriller here in Kansas. Very tricky track to get right, and that means we should see some very great challenges out there on the track. Some great strategy to play out. Kansas City, Kansas, 1.5 mile oval, 36 laps in the first stage, 60 laps in the second stage, and 134 laps overall here tonight. Should be an absolutely fantastic one. Of course, I am Trevor Greenfield. So great to have you with us here on VirtualRacing.Network. I'll be joined tonight by none other than the infamous Christian Snyder, who's taking the night off from the cockpit, and it's so great to have him join me here in the booth. Hey, Christian, good to have you here, and what can you tell us about Kansas and what we can expect tonight from these NORA Truck Series trucks?
I hope everyone has their fans, because it is really hot out here, at least for me. I don't know, 83 degrees is pretty hot for me. So it's going to be hot and slick out there. People are going to get really loose. I've seen a lot of practice already. A lot of guys were getting loose on exit. So it's going to be managing that and managing your tires throughout the run. It's going to be a great show. I mean, this is kind of a drafting track, so we're going to see a lot of 3-wide, 4-wide possibilities. I can't wait. This track, I love this track so much.
Oh, 3-wide and 4-wide. Music to my ears,
I can't wait.
But I can't wait. And hopefully they keep it all on the track and keep all those beautiful paint schemes nice and clean to be able to be seen next week as well. Of course, tonight, as every night here on the NORA Cup Network, this is presented by Abby's Sweet Treats. Abby's Sweet Treats, cookies so excellent and so artistically made, so good that they make you feel good inside. Abby, the owner out of Plymouth, Minnesota, and you can see the phone number there on your screen. Something went wrong with the slideshow. We'll have to make sure we get that updated for later on, but the phone number, 812-264-1624, abcobb@gmail.com, Abby Sweet Treats on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. You can head over to that Facebook right now and see all of those goodies that await you. Abby's Sweet Treats. Look for it over on Facebook. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and get to qualifying here. And let's get this one underway. It's, of course, you know, Christian, in order to get out there and race, first you must qualify, and qualifying positions are very important here, although we have seen drivers strike from very far back in the pack, but to qualify up front means that you can avoid a lot of that initial carnage, and that is something that I think a lot of these drivers would love to be able to do. Just start from the front and never have to look back.
Starting up front, always really good, but like you said, we always see winners come out of the tail of the field. And at this track, qualifying maybe not as much of an importance because of the draft effect with these trucks, but it's definitely a factor tonight if you qualify up front.
Well, Brad Fulham out there for Full Send Motorsports in the number 91, taking to the track in his Chevy truck, and we'll see what kind of times he can do tonight, just putting in that first lap. Got all of the field out there basically on track at the same time. Hey, Christian, why don't we go ahead and take a ride around here as Brad puts in his second lap. What is this like to drive at Kansas?
Oh, the outside is usually the preferred lane here at Kansas. You're going to see them go down on the bottom, though, in the beginning of the run. But there is a real harsh bump on the outside lane in 1 and 2 that you're going to see be a factor tonight. But this track was repaved pretty recently. It's real smooth, other than that one bump in 1 and 2. So you're going to see a lot of wide open throttle, not much braking. It's going to be an incredible race with really high speeds. This is one of the fastest 1.5 miles there is in the circuit.
Well, while we were talking, of course, Brad able to put in 14th fastest time at the moment. Brady Moats there on your screen able to go 3rd fastest. And a newcomer since we started covering this series, Eric Sable, racing for owner points here for the JRC Sim team, able to get in there the top of the charts. Cody Reeder slotting in 2nd, and Brian Jones for Brian Powell Motorsports slotting into 3rd. Josh Conover getting in his time, 6th fastest. Mark Bremkamp here just completing his 2nd lap. You know, a lot of these drivers pretty happy with just 1 lap in the books, but Bremkamp going to give that 2nd lap a final try? No, I don't think so. I think he'll pull it down onto the apron and call it a day. Torn Shirt, same thing, just 1 lap, and that's good enough. Ronnie Norman, they're going to put in fast enough for 11th. And Chad Engel still just completing that 2nd lap. So I think a lot of these drivers, you know, they just headed out there. They want to get that 1 solid lap. They're not really wanting to get in a 2nd lap. You can't necessarily improve unless you kind of messed up that 1st lap. So this driver here, Christopher Heights, just going out for his 1st lap. And then we'll get a chance to see Blake Freeman behind him, who's just starting to, well, he's just starting his 1st lap. And Christopher Heights on camera there goes 12th fastest. Here's Blake Freeman racing for owner points here tonight, and so far so good on his 1st lap. We'll see if he can keep it nice and clean.
I want to clarify, I did just check, there is only 1 lap of qualifying. They are not doing this.
Oh, I see. Well, another change that I was not aware of, but that's why Christian knows he gets paid the big bucks, and he certainly knows the ins and outs of the NORA Series. So there you go, 1 lap of qualifying, and that would explain things there. On your screen, you see Blake Freeman jump up to 11th fastest. So a nice lap from him as well. And that'll give us a moment while these drivers are just finishing up and getting all suited up for their race here tonight. Why don't we go ahead and bring up the current points on your screen. There you can see it. After 7 races, last race at Martinsville, you know, it was a bit of a gap there in the schedule, a few weeks that we had to wait it out till our next truck race. But here, as you can see, Brian Jones in the lead. He's taken over from Sean Briscoe. And that's just because I think Sean sat out, if I recall correctly, the Martinsville race. And so that means that Jones takes over again. Conover there in 3rd, Harper in 4th, Jacob Gladelich jumping up a spot into 5th, Torn Shirts in 6th. Let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the NORA Truck owner points. There you see it on your screen. No change to the top 3. Brian Powell Motorsports jumping up a couple of positions, though. That race continues to be hot and heavy for those top points, and we'll continue to watch that as the season goes on. And then this is another one that we want to be watching out for. This, of course, refers to those driver points, but this is the cutoff for the playoffs, as they will be coming up here not very long away. So all these drivers going to be thinking about that. Josh Conover at the top. Brian Jones in 2nd, Nick Geilis in 3rd, and Christopher Heights in 4th. Todd Slauson right there on the bubble. That is, it's, you know, you're always looking at that. You're always looking at those points when it rolls around to this time. And I'll tell you what, this is not time to get a little cautious, but you got to do what you got to do to get the most amount of points out there, Christian. Eric Sable for the JRC Sim team, taking pole position here for the first race that we've gotten him here on VirtualRacing.Network. Congratulations to him. Cody Reeder in 2nd for KPR Motorsports. 2nd row, Brian Jones for Brian Powell Motorsports. Alongside him will be Brady Moats for Ready to Wreck Racing, brand new team for Brady. Timothy Harper starting on that 3rd row for Harper Motorsports, and Josh Conover for Flatline. On the 4th row will be Mark Bremkamp for BS Motorsports, and alongside him will be Nick Geilis. By the way, that race graphic for the playoff standings provided by Nick Geilis. Appreciate that. Joey States there in the 9th position for Nightmare Motorsports. Alongside will be Torrance Shirts for BS Motorsports. In 11th, Blake Freeman, and next to him will be crowd favorite Ronnie Norman for JRC Sim Team. Next row will be Christopher Heitz for Harper and Craig Schroeder for Capital Motor Club. Dylan Walterman for Harper Motorsports will start in 15th. Alongside will be Keegan Bitzer for Flatline. Jason Conover for Brian Powell Motorsports next to Todd Slauson at Full Send. 19th will be Chad Engel for Brian Powell Motorsports next to Cody Dorsey for Harper Motorsports. 21st will be Todd Schneider, an independent in the field, and Brad Fulham for Full Send. Tyler Dixon will start in 23rd next to Jacob Bladelich. And Andrew Stab next to Sean Briscoe. Andrew for Full Send as well, and Capital Motor Club for Sean Briscoe. I guess Sean just getting in there. So either way, we're about to get this one rolling here, Christian, and I am so looking forward to it. You mentioned 3 and 4 wide. I hope it leads to that. Either way, we are just about underway here at Kansas.
I'm predicting it already that they're going to be 3 wide here going into turn 1. These guys, this track, the best way to pass is right on these restarts and starts of the race. So as we see, it's 2 wide, about 5th place on back, kind of single file, has now 99 of Timothy Harper, I believe. Yeah, Timothy Harper going underneath Cody Reeder.
Absolutely, Timothy Harper up 2 spots already. Look a little bit further back in here, Cody Reeder slipping back into that 4th spot. Lost 2 positions there on the start. Brian Jones, you see there, jumping up into 2nd.
There was a moment on back in the field that was on the bottom, got loose, chased it up the track, but this track looks very dusty right now, so probably a little bit loose for everybody. You see a lot of dust on the tires here.
And just as we're looking, here comes Mark Remkamp making a move. That's already 2 positions gained under Brady Motes. Mark diving down the apron there as well, so I guess that's part of the racetrack this week.
As Larry McReynolds, I believe is what he says, that white line doesn't mean anything here in Kansas.
So keep that in mind as these drivers making their way through. Still haven't seen the 3 and 4 wide, but it isn't the last lap yet. Cody Reeder trying to reclaim some of those spots. Now taking a look underneath in Harper. And you see Mark Remkamp there trying to follow in just behind. Then Brady Motes in that black and red machine ready to take over. Josh Conover right there at the very back of this group in the all black and red, racing for Code Red this week. And Josh certainly knows his way to the front with the last race, and will be able to do so here this week. He's certainly got the bit between his teeth and holding there at the back of the pack. You can see the front from there. I think he's just kind of waiting for his opportunity. In the meantime, 3 wide. We are now 3 wide. That's true. We made it. I was wondering how many laps it would take. And Motes side by side with Bremkamp. Bremkamp sort of slotting in there.
Bremkamp actually slow time in the race. So I think this is the time of the race. The outside lane is going to start lane. We saw Brady Motes make a 3 wide pass on the outside, so definitely starting to come in.
Well, we did see Motes run that high line, and I think he's going to give it a shot again. I kind of like that outside line. It also wears your tires differently than running on the inside.
Yeah, it kind of, I wouldn't say it wears them more. It just, I don't know. I'm not good at tire saving, so I don't know in this department. But I love the outside. I always thought it saved more tires, but people tell me it doesn't. So I'm not sure. I love the outside.
Well, Conover making his way up into the field. How about this guy, Todd Slauson for Full Send Motorsports? Right now running in the 14th position. He's gained 4 spots already. Looking pretty solid out there at the moment, and just in front of him is Keegan Bitzer. Well, Keegan is about to get passed here by Todd Slauson. There he goes again. So Slauson now up into that 13th spot.
Not a Battle for the lead. Brian Jones trying the outside of Eric Sable over here in turn 1. Don't know if it's going to work. He's going to get right down on his door. Kind of side draft a little bit. Might clear. Looks like he did. He clears him. Now Eric going to jump up and cover the outside lane. Timothy Harper with a little bump there. Okay, I could have taken that, but
well, Brian Jones back in control of the points, and here he is in control of this race. I think just trying to put a little bit of distance between him and Sean Briscoe, if at all possible. Speaking of Briscoe, he is back here in 25th, racing for Capital Motor Club here tonight in the in-and-out machine. A bit of a different livery for him here. You can see just up in front some pretty wide action here, as I believe that's Walterman there getting by. Excuse me, Fulham for Full Send Motorsports getting by Dylan Walterman. So that is for 20th position. And a lot of action all over the field. And just like you said, Christian, nobody's afraid to make a pass here at Kansas.
But just like in real life, the race was absolutely amazing here at Kansas. And these guys putting on as great of a show, if not better. I mean, everywhere you look, there's someone battling. The front 6 are under a blanket right now. So we have no idea who's going to win this race. Anybody in this field has a great chance.
Certainly, we are looking on here to find out who will be able to hold down this lead at the front. It's been Brian Jones so far, but you don't have to look very far back to see that number 9 car of Eric Sable. He took the pole position on his debut here on VirtualRacing.Network. He's looking to take that position back just behind. We got side-by-side racing. Timothy Harper has moved up 2 spots so far, taking that position. Here comes Sable back on that apron.
I almost thought he gave him a little bump there as he got out of the door, but he kept it off barely. And now he's looking underneath him. I think Brian's going to be able to easily hold the position on the outside. Oh, caution's out.
And just like that, the yellow flag is out, but it looks like it's for Todd Slauson, who is very slow on the backstretch, and not exactly sure what happened there. We'll have to take a look here in just a second.
Looks like it just got out from under him and went around here. A little bit of help out.
He does have it coming together with the 5 car. And looks like he clipped somebody else as he came around, but fortunately not too many others involved. That was Keegan Bitzer racing with him for the 13th position. Take another look here, this time from Todd's point of view. Right around he goes and into the wall, unfortunately for Full Send Motorsports.
I ran a few laps of practice in these trucks with my guys, and it was very loose. I talked about it earlier here in the broadcast that it gets real loose the longer you go into a run, especially when you're in traffic. If someone gets too close to your back bumper, it takes all the air off your truck and you go around. And that seems to be what happened here in this one.
Well, I tried it in the Cup Series cars, and I mean, I agree with you. It got loose after just a few laps, and I mean, they're different than the trucks, but it was very difficult to get the exact perfect line to begin with. Just tricky to really lay the line perfectly, and then after just a few laps of trying to get on it, definitely got loose. But Brady Moats here, deciding to utilize this caution and get in and get some service done on the car. A lot of other cars behind, a lot of other trucks, excuse me, behind him. Cody Reeder, Blake Freeman taking on service. Dylan Walterman, Chad Engel, Jacob Gladelich, Sean Briscoe, and however, it does leave about the first. Let's see here.
10 trucks.
Yeah, I would say about 10. That have not made their way down onto pit lane. So that's an interesting call from a lot of these trucks. Actually, first 15 trucks not coming in. So
smarter decision. What they're doing is saving a set of tires. They know they can make it on fuel to the end of the stage, so there's no need to pit right now.
Smart strategy, or will it come back to haunt them? We'll find out here very soon. We're under caution here at Kansas. It's been a fun race with a lot of passing so far. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere.
Green's out. Green flag. Green flag.
Important. So if caution comes out with, say, 15 to go, and you don't have a set of tires, your bed's already made.
Absolutely. Well, and in that case, if your bed is already made, I guess you should lie in it, but do your best to get through. That's what they always say, and take advantage of any opportunities that you can get. There you can see Brady Motes up into, I believe, the third position now. In fact, he's taking a look on Eric Sable and Brian Jones. Look at what those tires are doing for Brady Motes. He's going to make it 2 wide, 3 wide into turn 1.
And that caused Brian Jones to check up, which allowed Eric Sable to get around him. And now Sable going to try to hold off Brady Motes here. Looks like he's going to be able to as he comes down in front of Brady.
So Sable able to control the front now that Brady took that lunge into turn 1 and kind of disrupted things for Brian Jones. Sable and Brady Motes now going to race side by side into turn 1.
Interesting to point out that these two trucks that are battling for the lead are brand new this week. They just opened these two teams, and now they're both battling for the lead, so pretty impressive for their first run tonight.
Absolutely. There's always something new going on here on VirtualRacing.Network. This is new. Here's Cody Reeder to the front. And we got Brian Jones around. I can't believe it. This is our points leader. He seldom makes mistakes like that.
Oh, I don't think it was a mistake. I think he got hooked, but not much damage. He kept it off the wall, but definitely had help off the corner.
Also had a note just a moment ago, Jason Conover having to pull it into the pit, so one of the favorites in the field comes out. And
we've seen this before. Timmy Harper and Brian Jones get back into each other. We saw it. Where was it? Oh man, what track was that?
Bristol Dirt.
Bristol, yeah, Bristol. So
well,
these two going at it again.
As we know, I mean, does it carry over to here? Is he still on probation, Tim Harper?
I will have to get that information from Josh, but I think he's still on probation, so I don't know. We'll have to see here in a second.
Well, Moats and Reeder had come down to take their pit stop earlier, and now that's going to give everyone else a chance to come down onto pit road. Sable, Harper, Josh Conover, Mark Bremkamp, a lot of these drivers probably pretty happy after seeing what Moats was able to do there, along with Reeder, to just kind of storm through the field on those new tires. I'm sure they're very anxious to get some new rubber on those machines.
Yeah, well, with the stage being in 10 laps, what these guys are going to do, they're going to take their tires now, and then at the end of the stage, they're going to stay out and make it to the end of the second stage, because these stages are pretty short. You can make it about 45 laps on fuel. So if they pit here, they can make it to lap 60 easily on fuel. So they're good to go.
Well, that will be very interesting. I think seeing what the tire situation is, it will be a big question mark if we get a yellow flag deep into that second stage, whether some of these drivers won't just come off and get their tires rather than try to stay out there for track position, even though they have the amount of fuel that they need to. But that's their call to make, and we just watch on and try and figure it out. Brady Moats, though, no question about who was the star there of the early part of that first stage. He came to the forefront. Now, I don't believe there was any real damage to that Brian Jones truck, and currently he is back in the 23rd position. But let's go ahead and take one more look here, and we'll be able to find out exactly what happened. This is looking out the back of the Brian Jones machine. Now,
down a little bit. Maybe Timmy can call that one and say, hey, he came down, but I think, fighting for the same position, I would say. Same line coming out of the corner, just fighting for position.
Yeah, certainly.
That's racing.
Sure, that's racing
yeah.
deal. Now, of course, if you were Brian Jones, I think you might be thinking it was something a little bit different, as Tim does move up the track a little bit there, and, well...
That angle, it didn't even look like he touched him. Maybe netcode, possibly.
And they'll get a chance to review all of that post-race as well, make a good call. Certainly very fair here in the NORA Truck Series. And so
just got done doing the choose cone there, and a lot of field split decision here on the outside or inside choice. Outside seems to be more dominant on the restarts. We'll have to see, as Brady Moats is they're gonna actually turn the lights on the pace car and go one more time around here.
I guess we'll do one more lap around under the pace car here, but Brady Moats for Ready to Wreck Racing, brand new team, already up there into the lead and having a great race so far. Will it carry over into a stage win or a possible race win here tonight? I think, well, the cards are up there. We'll see whether or not he can hold on now that everyone's going to be on the same tires. Dylan Walterman, how about his race so far? He decided to take tires the same time that Brady Moats did. He's up 12 positions for Harper Motorsports. Sean Briscoe, hey, didn't he start at the back? I mean, Christian, who is this guy? And yet, here he is in fourth.
Are we surprised though? Like,
no.
he is a front runner for sure in this series, and I knew in no time he would be up front. That is a new paint scheme. We're used to seeing him in the red and white car or truck, and now he's got the In-N-Out burger. So maybe he was a little hungry tonight.
Yeah, he did a little bit of trade out. Next thing you know, he's got his favorite animal style combo as pre-race meal, and certainly seems to be working for him. He's up there into fourth already. Brady Moats, though, he's at the front, and he's going to lead us back to the green flag here. lap number 26, and it is a very good start for all of these drivers, but Moats about 5 car lengths out there in front, no problem whatsoever, but Cody Reeder, Dylan Walkerman were racing side by side, but here comes Sean Briscoe to say, I think I want back in this points lead, and I'm not going to give it up here tonight. So once again, if you're watching out there at YouTube Land, feel free to say hello. Christian says he's up in the booth and will be in chat as well. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and make sure to get them relayed or cover them here on camera.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Cody Reeder underneath. Taking notes for the lead.
Side by side for that lead position, Moats and Reeder, but Reeder tucks in behind with NPR Motorsports. Briscoe just
everywhere. Look at that. This is why I love this track. There is so many battles throughout the entire field, the entire race. This track just opens it up for, like I said, there's 3, 4 different lanes that can work, and these guys are taking advantage of all of them right now. As we see a little bit of 3 wide on back, maybe a little smoke there. Couldn't see who that was.
Possibly, no, not Sable, but Sable has dropped back now, back into that 10th spot, so racing side by side, now 3 wide. Josh Hahn over the meat and the sandwich there. Looks like some other drivers kind of having issues. Michael Heimer subscribes to VirtualRacing.Network. We thank you, Michael. Appreciate you watching along with us.
We got trouble. I saw smoke.
It did kind of look like Walterman got up in the wall. I'm not sure. I saw like a blink for a second. It was close.
I couldn't help. There was a smoke. Maybe that smoke because they bounce a little bit, but I saw smoke and I panicked. Well, there is a caution now.
And we do have a caution. Let's see if we can figure out who that one is for. We got Timothy Harper kind of towards the back. Not really sure. Brian Jones sort of running in his own path, but looks like I don't see any particular reason for the caution, and we're not quite at the stage yet, so 6 more laps to go until the stage. Take a quick break, see if we can figure out what caused that caution, and we'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. We managed to pull in the leader at the end of that last stage. It was Cody Reeder for KPR Motorsports who takes maximum point for stage 1. Hey, Cody, congratulations winning that first stage, my friend.
All right, thanks, appreciate it.
So what's it feeling like out there on the track? We're seeing so much passing, so much racing. Is it like you can do anything with that truck you want? How's it feeling to you?
There is a ton of grip, just kind of everywhere. So usually Kansas is we can save your tires the best, but I think you just got to go out, full out. It's just, sorry, I'm choosing here. So it's just a lot of grip everywhere. So I think that saving your tires really isn't something that you can do because you're just going so hard trying to get to the front. That's why I came and took tires there, is that I knew if we were going to be flat-footed, I'd rather be flat-footed with Freshies versus everybody else.
Well, and it seemed to work not just for you, but for Brady as well. Looks like a good race yet to come. You think you can put that one in victory lane there at the end?
So this is my home track. I've actually never won here, so it would mean a lot to get my first win this year at this track. So I'm going to do everything I can.
Well, it seems like we've seen you up there, up in the front, a lot of this season already, and it wouldn't be a surprise here to see you in the victory circle at the end. So good luck to you. We'll be watching for you.
Thank you.
So that is Cody Reeder for KPR Motorsports, and really Cody's doing a bang-up job out there taking that very first stage. Looks like you got him there. Good. So it's always a little tricky trying to bring these drivers in here for these interviews the way that we have to do it through Discord. But either way, great to have Cody and all of these drivers who are willing to play ball with us and join us here during these cautions and talk with us about their race. But Christian, it's been exactly what you said. A lot of 2 wide, 3 wide. I don't know if we've seen 4 wide yet, but it could happen at any moment. It's beautiful as the sun's just starting to set here in Kansas. I think we got the rest of the night's worth is looking really good. And that was, in fact, what we were seeing is that we actually had the wrong information. Instead of 36 laps, it was 30 laps for the first stage. So that was, in fact, the end of that first stage.
Here, starting the second stage, we do have that one right. It is finishing at lap 60. These guys all have 4 times to make it the rest of the way. So these guys are plenty good for the rest of the way as we are green flag here in stage 2.
Well, round number 8 at Kansas for the NORA Truck Series, presented by Apple Sweet Treats, underway again here as the drivers enter stage 2. And it's Mark Bremkamp who leads us back and into turn 1. Andrew Stab for Full Send Motorsports there, the number 75, up into second place ahead of Brian Jones and Torrin Shirts.
This means a lot for Andrew to be up there being able to get that paint scheme shown off because he is racing a few weeks ago. So he is running a special paint scheme for him.
Well, we'll try and get as much of that camera focused on Andrew Stab as possible. However, it is starting to drift up the track there, and it looks like it's Brian Jones and Torrin Shirts who have come forward past Andrew for that position. Now Timothy Harper getting underneath as well. Here comes Brian Jones, or Timothy Harper to the front.
So clearly he wasn't on probation, or maybe they decided that it wasn't his fault in the wreck because he was still out here. We have a truck in the wall on the further back. I couldn't tell who that was, but they hit the wall going out hard.
Well, Bremkamp right now has taken over the lead, and we're watching to see. I'm not sure who that was who hit the wall, but they haven't fallen too far back yet. Looks like everybody's still out there at the moment. But Bremkamp up front, racing side by side with Brian Jones.
Trying to hold him off, but Brian Jones has that outside, and that's where the momentum is. He's going to probably clear him off the 2, I would assume here. See, he's going to kind of come down on the door of Bremkamp, get a little bit of the side draft, and then pull him back, and he's going to nose ahead of him here going into 3. Side draft very effective here at this track. Does it again here in 3 and 4, real close on him there.
close racing, side by side. They march down onto that apron. Nobody's able to pull ahead. One of those tracks where it's, unless you get a big run and you get a big draft on someone, you figure something out to get in front. There, it looks like a bit of a slide job from Bremkamp, and I don't think Brian Jones appreciated having his nose chopped off like that.
I think actually Brian Jones meant to go down low. I think he wanted to eyeball it here and straight forward, and the inside lane might be the way to go. He just kind of cut it a little bit close whenever he turned down. Bremkamp was trying to block the inside lane. Jones does take that away from him and will now take the lead.
Well, I have to tell you, Christian, we're about to see some number 45 and number 99 action once again, as Timothy Harper is now right there in that fourth position and getting ever so close to these two front runners. But Brady Moat's back up there into that third spot for Ready to Wreck Racing, and given his debut here for that team, a great run. Already up there into that third spot. He did, of course, qualify in fourth, but it's been tricky to hang out up front. We've seen several drivers, including Sable, who qualified towards the front. He's drifted back. Sean Briscoe was up there not that long ago. He's gone back to 7th place. So difficult for everybody except for Brian Jones to hold on. We've got a yellow flag. It looks like Dixon and Guylis in the wall.
Excited to see what happens here. If maybe it was a, being that it's going into 3, I don't know.
Oh, it's like Slauson kind of gets into Guylis a little bit, and unfortunately traps Tyler Dixon in that mess.
They just kind of stayed up there. Yeah.
He just didn't want to stop.
Yeah, and we see the 69 going way down below the white line, and that caused Todd to move up the track, and then he just got into Nick Guylis there ever so slightly. But someone, I'm not sure who's in the 69, but drove way down to the bottom.
Jump back here and see if we can figure this one out a little bit farther up here. You got
low
the 69 down there on that, underneath that white line, and I tell you what, you know, it also looks like the 24 might have thought that he was a little clear as well. Didn't know that Slauson was going to be coming up the track as much, or still be there on that track. But either way, Guylis getting in for a pit stop. A lot of cars, I always make that mistake. A lot of trucks coming down pit lane. Blake Freeman, Christopher Heights, Todd Slauson, Cody Dorsey, Tyler Dixon. So Dixon getting some damage repair as well. And that truck has seen slightly better days. Already got some big scratches on it. But still up front, Brian Jones. He's moved forward 2 positions from his start. And so far has Brian Powell Motorsports. And he is controlling the points here in the NORA Truck Series. Brady Moats in 2nd, Mark Bremkamp in 3rd, Timothy Harper in 4th, and Torrance Schertz. That's your top 5. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. This is round number 8 at Kansas for the NORA Truck Series 2023, presented by Abby's Sweet Treats. That's, of course, Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. And you see there on your screen these awesome cookies. Well, they're artistically made and so good. They look so great on the outside. They'll make you feel so good on the inside. Not just cookies, but there you see Mom's Day cookies coming up. Mermaid birthday cookies, cake pops. Here's an Oreo pie, some peanut butter brownies. There's Abby as well. As I mentioned before, she's wearing an SRX shirt, so you know she loves her racing. Abby, the owner out of Plymouth, Minnesota. There you can see how to get a hold of her, 812-264-1624, abcobb@gmail.com. And I did see that for those of you that are on Facebook, etc., there is a way to kind of place your order online. I was able to do so, and then I was sent an invoice and everything. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to my cookies, Christian. And they're going to be here, hopefully, for the Indy 500. I'll make sure I share that with everybody. But out there, if you're watching right now, you've been seeing a great race. It's Brian Jones for Brian Powell Motorsports, and he is leading us back to the green flag. Just behind those side-by-side action, row by row by row, it's Bremkamp and Motes fighting it out for second and third, and then there's Sean Briscoe and Torrance Shirts fighting it out for third and fourth. Here comes Bremkamp, though, up into that second position. Motes fighting hard for that third spot and just clears Briscoe. Now it starts to settle down, but we are 2 and 3 wide further back. I see Josh Conover just diving down onto that apron and trying to take position. So once again, some good stuff happening for a lot of these trucks. Here's Jacob Gladelich. He's back in 13th, but he's gained 11 places so far, so watch for that drift team truck to make its way further forward. You see Keegan Bitzer there taking his opportunity into number 5 to try to make a pass. So out in front, though, Brian Jones, Brady Motes, now racing side by side. I don't know if they didn't swap some paint there between Bremkamp and Motes.
These two have been side by side for 3 laps straight, and looking for a 4th one here as Brady's going to get a run on the outside to get 2 even with them here on the back stretches. We saw the 24 there slow, still with damage from the last wreck, but these two side by side for 4 laps straight, and this is again another reason why I love Kansas. It's constant side by side battle.
Well, that's 78 of Mark Bremkamp down there onto that apron. 49 holding tight up top. That's Brady Motes. Now Brady's racing for owner points here tonight, not in that driver points battle, but he certainly is giving these drivers who are racing in that points championship all they can handle. Brian Jones just ahead, as I mentioned at the start of the broadcast. He's taken over the points once again from Sean Briscoe, but you don't have to look very far back to find Briscoe. In fact, there he is in that 4th spot, and Briscoe so far has gained 22 positions. I think he's just trying to pick and choose exactly when he's going to poke his nose up front, but so far he has that in and out truck looking really good here in the early going. Now we will be having another stage caution here in another 10 laps, so these drivers trying to jockey for position to get those maximum amount of points here at the end of the stage. We've got Brady Motes making a pass here potentially for the lead over Brian Jones.
It's two no strangers to battling. They were, I believe, former teammates. I believe Brady was on Brian Powell Motorsports there for a while and now has opened his own team. So now he wants to kind of prove that he can run a team and be successful, and he's doing that so far here as he's got a real good run here on Brian Jones. Might get the lead this lap. Brian Jones by nose there, but I think the inside right now is the place to be. It's still grippy down there. We heard I believe it was Cody Reeder say that the entire track has grip, so that's why we're seeing these 2 wide, 3 wide situations where there's grip on every single lane of this track.
Absolutely, grip everywhere. Down low, up high, in the middle. So far, we haven't seen one in particular, but wow.
Look at the move by Cody Reeder.
Cody Reeder makes a huge slingshot pass and definitely sends that truck into the lead for KPR Motorsports. We saw him take the stage win, but that was a monster send from Cody Reeder.
He went clear from the outside wall on the exit of 4 to the grass at the start-finish line. That's what I think Clint Boyer calls it, the elevator move.
The elevator move. I love it. Well,
that was really well executed. Brian Jones able to get back around Cody.
Yeah, that was a short-lived moment of glory in the sun there for Cody Reeder as he was overtaken once again by Brian Jones. Brian seeming to have just about everyone covered here in the field. Here's Briscoe, though, making that move for third. And it looks like Cody Reeder, though, also now trying to make that move for first, and he'll take back the lead.
What's going to happen with these two running side by side? They're side drafting each other. So now these guys that are behind them are going to get huge runs to catch up to them, although I believe they're side by side too, so they're not really getting that run. But that's what gave Cody Reeder the opportunity to take it 3 wide. Brady Motes and Brian Jones were side by side, slowing each other down, and Cody just had a huge run. And that's something we got to look forward to tonight. Whenever these leaders are side by side, whoever's in third is going to have a huge run.
Well, as you said, going to have a huge run. That could be Sean Briscoe as he starts to creep into that picture. Will he pull a Cody Reeder and do the elevator move from the outside to the inside? Well, you can do it here at Kansas. We're looking forward to seeing some more fantastic racing. Just a couple of laps until the end of stage 2. And this is kind of Sean Briscoe territory. He starts to get closer and closer into that picture. I wonder if he won't try to take another slingshot move. We see Cody Reeder, though, diving down to the bottom side of that apron and lunging ahead to lead that lap.
What this is right now is slide job and crossovers every single lap. We saw Brian Jones take it low in 1 and 2 last time. Now Cody Reeder going to protect the outside lane here as a caution comes out before the end of the stage.
Caution out for Ronnie Norman.
Yeah, I believe this will be the stage.
In fact, it will, and Norman has to tow back to the pits. This must have been quite a big incident. Let's take a look here, as it looks like Dorsey and Norman were just racing side by side.
My goodness. Wait until you see this impact. Oh, my.
And children, please avert your eyes. I guess that's a little too late. But let's go ahead and take a look back. We're going to watch this from Ronnie's point of view. Christian, what's going on here?
The 91 gets into the wall, comes down a little bit, tags Ronnie, and then he just he's pinballed throughout the field, and that impact with the wall immediately blew the radiator and the engine for Ronnie. So that is terminal. I believe he will be taking it behind the wall for tonight. But yeah, we saw Brad just get a little bit too high, sniff the wall a little bit too much, and he's gonna come off the wall there and just kind of tag Ronnie, and he gets a wild ride too here. Brad Fulham for a full send. Gonna have to pay for that truck. That's not good. Well,
there goes your weekly allowance. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately for Brad Fulham, one of the full send stable and one of the stars here in the NORA Truck Series, it looks like he's going to have to take on costly repairs, as will Ronnie Norman, who of course has his own fan club that typically reports out for these races. And I'm not seeing a lot of reports here from the chat room. I'd love to hear from anyone out there. Let us know that you're watching along. Let us know who you're rooting on. You can, of course, always smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hey, can you believe that more people watch this that are not subscribers than are subscribers? They're missing out. You know, miss out on tomorrow night's NORA Cup Series race and any other future races that we're covering here on VirtualRacing.Network, including the NORA Truck Series. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button as well. We will appreciate it. And of course, it helps us with the YouTube algorithm and such. But certainly let us know who you're rooting on. If you're a family member, friend, whoever you are rooting on, one of your fellow teammates, one of your competitors, if you're scoping out some of the action for tomorrow night's NORA Cup Series race, which, of course, if you're out there watching tomorrow night right here, VirtualRacing.Network, NORA Cup Series at Kansas, you won't want to miss it. It'll be 7:25 my time, which is Central Time, or 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, every Tuesday pretty much is NORA Cup Series action here on VirtualRacing.Network. And we're so happy that Christian Snyder is going to be joining us in the booth as well tomorrow night.
Absolutely, I can't wait. You know, you think this race is action-packed? Tomorrow is going to be maybe twice as action-packed with those cars, because they're so grouped together with that package that they have here at this track. So they're going to be even tighter than what the trucks are, close-wise, not actually tight. But it's going to be a fantastic race tomorrow. Can't wait, and I can't wait to be here in the booth the rest of the season as well for the Cups.
Absolutely. So great to have you with us, and so great that we were able to make that happen with the NORA Series. So let's see here. We just now are going through the end of stage number 2. Of course, looks like Cody Reeder. Did Cody end up taking the victory on that second stage?
I believe Brian Jones did.
Yeah, so how did Brian end up in third? Was it the choose cone?
Pit stops and choose cone, yeah. Or no, Cody Reeder actually won. My mistake. Yeah, Cody Reeder won stage 1 and 2. And that's no surprise. I've talked with Josh before this race, and he said ones to watch are Cody Reeder, Brian Jones, and they were first and second in that stage.
Absolutely, and this was, we're just going to flash back here. This was the pass that earned Cody Reeder just before the yellow flag came out. Went down onto the apron, led it all the way around, and after the caution came out, that gave Cody Reeder the second stage victory. So that's first and second stage victory for Cody Reeder, who's having just an absolutely barn burner night for KPR Motorsports. But it's no surprise. I mean, we've seen some really great drivers come through that KPR Motorsports team. Of course, Jared Wishin comes to mind just a couple of weeks ago, just coming in and absolutely dominating at Bristol Dirt.
You got Dustin Kleba as well, that on the Cup side, doing a fantastic job for them.
Indeed, and Kleba just stepping in and getting, I believe, pole position here last week, and was running up front, but unfortunate incident took him out of the race. Blake Freeman, though, takes over the lead, running for owner points, and he's going to lead us back to the green. Cody Reeder. Freeman drops back, though, as it quickly goes 2 and 3 wide, and there goes Freeman out the back. Here's Cody Reeder back to the front. Brian Jones is there as well. Sean Briscoe right in tow of Cody Reeder on the outside. We're 3 wide here at Kansas. The number
3 wide there for a little bit. We're going 3 wide again here as Eric Sable taking it 3. Oh, Brian Jones gets loose. Problem for Brian Jones. He's pitting.
I wonder if he didn't have a
drive-through penalty, maybe?
I'm guessing that must be, and he was so late to make his entry there into the pits. That is really costly for Brian, who...
Yeah, major point implications with Briscoe now up front. He's going to capitalize on all these points with him. Well, Eric Sable takes the lead.
That makes... Yeah, here's Sable back up front after drifting so far back. Here he is back in the lead again. It seemed like it was Brian Jones and Cody Reeder's race to win here, but Sable back up front in his Ford for the JRC Sim team, giving that team a great debut here on VirtualRacing.Network. Cody Reeder still holding on there in second place. Who's this guy? I don't know.
I was about to say it. Where did he come from? He always finds his way up front here toward the late stage.
Well, he must be over or just coming up on halfway, because here comes Josh Conover to the front, starting to find his way and starting to figure out where exactly he wants to slot that truck so that he can be in exactly the right place at the end. Cody Reeder starting to slip back now into that third spot. Joey Stats there for Nightmare Motorsports. He's up into fourth. We haven't been talking about Stats that much. He's been running a little bit further back, but now he's gained 5 spots. And, of course, Sean Briscoe up into the front here, holding on to that top 5. So Josh Conover now taking a look possibly at Eric Sable for JRC. And Conover in the Flatline Motorsports Chevy, certainly no stranger here to doing well in the NORA Truck Series. Of course, last time out at Martinsville, taking victory and certainly proving that each and every week he is someone to contend with. Now, of course, Josh with 2 victories on the season, 6 top 10s, 6 top 5s. And there you see is that that's the 86 starting to come back through the field as well. So rough nights all around for a number of these drivers. That's Todd Schneider just having to deal with going a lap down here. Unfortunate. Actually, take it back. He's now several laps down, but one of our independents in the field who's having a rough night. Eric Sable, though, he's back up in front and in control here at Kansas.
And funny enough, JRC Sim Team actually stands for Josh Conover, his initials. So he kind of helps out and runs that team with Ronnie Norman. So he's got his driver basically ahead of him, and he's the owner behind him. So that'd be like Bubba Wallace in front of Denny Hamlin out here.
Well, here comes Joey Stats for Nightmare Motorsports down on that low line onto the apron, and he's going to try to take it around Josh Conover. So, yeah, indeed, a lot of these drivers and, everybody trying to help each other out and get teams going. It's not as easy as it seems to run a team and make sure you get all the entries filled each and every week. Sometimes teams shut down. You got to start one up in the middle of the week, and certainly friends helping friends here in NORA Series. As sun gets low in the sky here in Kansas, just over halfway here done with round number 8, of course, presented by Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. And the JRC Sim Team making a fabulous debut with Eric Sable, who took pole position. He's currently running out front. Joey Stats, though, giving him a challenge on that low line.
Yes, Stats had a great run last week at Dover in the Cup Series, and now he's out here leading here at Kansas in the truck, but not for long, because Eric going to cross him over, get underneath him, side draft him. Oh, he got a little too close. No contact. It looked like net code maybe, but a great save for Joey Stats. He's still going, and he's in 4th, but you can see that left side really damaged from that.
Well, and I'm trying to see here, did Brian Jones, I don't think Brian Jones ended up actually going down a lap. He's still running on the lead lap, but he is back towards the back, so we'll have to see if Brian can manage to catch back up to this group or he can get a yellow flag, because really unfortunate that Brian having to take that extra drive-through penalty. But something must have occurred. So you think it was a drive-through, which means that it wasn't a stop and hold. It wasn't a speeding penalty on pit lane. Is that possibly an administrative penalty?
It could have been. Had a lane switch, or he had the choose cone violation. I'm not 100% sure. But those two are most common for drive-through penalties. So definitely one of those two, I would assume.
Well, back in the front, though, Josh Conover racing side by side with Sean Briscoe for second. Now Briscoe brings it forward into that second place, and he's going to give a shot to Eric Sable. He's going to take it forward, and will he be able to make that pass? They are side by side as they come to the line.
We have a comment in the chat from Larry Briscoe, rooting, I believe he said his son, John Briscoe. So this is a great run for Sean Briscoe yet again, up in the top 3, and he's got people rooting him on here in chat.
Absolutely. Great to have Larry Briscoe checking in with us, and Sean is an absolutely stellar racer who has been proving himself every single week to be the cream of the crop here in the NORA Series. Able to pretty much do whatever he wants with the truck or with the car. Here he is tonight. He's come from the back 23 spots forward. It's kind of living the dream right now of a sim racer, that's for sure, running at the front of both the NORA Cup and the NORA Truck Series. But tonight here at Kansas, you have to watch out for some of that sunshine in your face as that sun hangs real low. It gets in your eyes there in turns 3 and 4. But Briscoe for Capital Motor Club here, putting on a good show. I'll tell you what, Eric Sabel, though, up in front, doing an amazing job. And I didn't think it would be possible to hold the lead for this long, but so far he is. He's just, it seems like anybody gets up there and gets close in this stage, and they haven't been able to touch him yet.
I talked to Ronnie before this race, and he actually found this guy from a former league that he used to run about 8 years ago. So he got back in touch with him, happened to run into him while he was racing, and asked him if he wanted to run over here, and he said absolutely. And he is, Sean Briscoe in the wall.
Well, Sean touches the wall. That may not necessarily kill his truck. He'll probably be able to get it going again, but that's so easy to do when you run that outside lane. And just to speak to your point, though, once again, a lot of these drivers very well connected, and certainly Ronnie Norman, no exception to that. He seems to know just quite a lot of drivers that are very talented, but I think he's very happy to bring in somebody for once that is a top driver and not have that driver go to KPR Motorsports.
Ronnie's actually, he asked if he could join the booth.
Ronnie Norman?
Yeah, Ronnie Norman. He
Oh,
asked
no.
if he could join the
No,
booth.
no, he can't join. Of course he can. Where is he at? Bring that guy in here.
I'll pull him up. Hey, Ronnie, how's it going?
How's it going, boys?
Well, we're doing just fine up here watching this race. It's unfortunate that we're sans Ronnie Norman, and certainly the Ronnie Norman fan club is wondering what happened with your truck out there. I guess just way too much damage to get that thing repaired, huh?
Yeah, we got like 25 minutes of optional, so we're just going to race control this thing out and enjoy this one and just kind of chill and come back tomorrow and do it again.
Well, what were you seeing out there while you were running? And second of all, who is this Eric Sabel guy? He is just absolutely amazing out there dominating this race. And Christian was just telling me the story that you managed to find him from another league, and all this kind of came together this last week.
Yeah, it's honestly a crazy story. Me and Sable ran back in the league back in the day, and that league kind of went away, and a lot of the drivers from that league went on to race. Some of them went pro in iRacing, so really good talent over there. And we just happened to be racing in the same race, and I caught up with him, and I was like, hey, like, we race Mondays and Tuesdays, you interested? And he's like, yeah, definitely. He's like, I don't really do officials, I just like league racing. So I was like, well, if you're gonna be league racing with us, you're gonna be somehow affiliated with me. So I made sure to lock him up, and I took over SS and changed JRC 7 this past weekend, and got him in here, got his paint, Richie got his paint scheme on him, and yeah, no, he's looking really good in his first race, so I'm really happy to see it.
Had a pass for the lead as Josh Conover was able to run the inside right on the white line. And he's going to pass Eric Sable now, but he's going to look back on the outside of Josh, trying to make that work.
Well, also over in our YouTube chat, great to have Cody Height, superstar over the NORA Cup Series, checking in with us. Didn't have the dream race last week at Dover Motor Speedway, but he did at Daytona, where he took second place in the NORA Cup Series. For anybody out there who's watching along, certainly someone to keep in mind for tomorrow night as we come here to Kansas with the NORA Cup Series. And Ronnie, it'll be a good chance, just think of tonight as a practice race. Tomorrow night, you'll be able to come back out here and try and give it another shot.
Yeah, I dodged one other truck that got into the wall earlier, so when I seen Brad get into the wall, I wasn't really concerned. You just got to let up, turn hard left to try to go around, but it was weird. It's like my rear end kind of drifted and we just connected, and unfortunately that was all she wrote for me.
Well,
Unfortunate race here.
Yeah, absolutely. A 3-truck race, and they seem to be pulling away from everybody. Got about 1.82 seconds from Reeder back to Torrance Shirts. But either way, Ronnie, great to have you as always in the field. Always a chance that we'll see your truck or your car up there in the front anytime we're watching along. You're one of the front runners for sure. But this has been a great race so far. Josh Conover, I know it's a shock to everybody, but Conover taking over the lead here in the Truck Series. But so far, he's doing a great job, up 5 positions. Eric Sable, he was in the back. He had kind of drifted towards the back there at the end of the first stage and was wondering whether that was kind of like typical rookie pole sitter fade, you know, like we see a lot. Fast in qualifying, but maybe can't quite hold it there during the race. But he's come back and raced really hard. As you said, now that we know a little bit more and kind of the solid racer that he is, Eric Sable doing a fantastic job here for JRC in their debut. And Cody Reeder, also, what can be said? I mean, he's been solid all night. He was up there challenging Brian Jones. And perhaps you can talk a little bit about that. We saw an incident earlier with Tim Harper and Brian Jones. Is that still under investigation, or is that deemed not like a racing incident? Is Tim Jones still, or Tim Harper on probation? How's that working right now, Ronnie?
What I was hearing was Timmy was on probation for just the racing in general. He wasn't on probation for cause cautions. So he came into this race with 3 or 4, so there was no suspension or anything that we were looking at there. But I don't know if you guys were wondering earlier, Brian had to pit on that green flag restart.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys were wondering about that. So what happened there is the caution before I think we ran out that stage, Brian jumped the restart. And so that whole little length, we were trying to figure out because he got black flagged on the start after that caution, and the only way you can do that is if you jump the start. And so what he did was he took a drive-through EOL to start that beginning of the next stage, because if they would have got him after the race, then say if he won, he would have got EOL to the last in line.
So that answers that, and that seems to echo the other comment that we saw over in the YouTube chat room. Michael Heimer saying was an early start penalty on the green, and we appreciate him checking in and you giving us some clarification there, Ronnie. You sure you don't want to just, keep the Discord on up here in the booth? You can just chat with us from the truck or the car like all the time. Give us a little bit of inside info.
Well, I mean, it's fun being up there. I don't mind it, but man, it's kind of nice being out there on the track too.
I hear you. Either way, great to have you joining us. Unfortunate that it comes at the end of your race. Here's a driver who's been doing really fabulous here tonight, Jacob Vladelich, racing for Brian Powell Motorsports. He's just been quietly working his way forward. 18 spots he has gained so far and looking solid. Really seems to have that Drift King paint job rocking here in Kansas. And Sean Briscoe has just slid back. Even though he's up 19 spots, he's slid back now to the 7th spot. So perhaps Briscoe, with all that pushing that he did to try to get that truck up there, maybe wearing these tires a little bit more than he would like, starting to suffer there. Back here in the 10th spot, you've got Craig Schroeder, who's up 4 spots for Capital Motor Club, but giving that truck a good run in his Chevy, doing a fantastic job. And right now we've got a couple of trucks racing side by side in second place. That's Eric Sable and Cody Reeder. They aren't done battling. They just
oh no!
Wow!
Save it. He saved it.
He did save it, and Sable just somehow saves that one as Reeder apparently got into him. These two are not done banging wheels.
And Ronnie, you're just now experiencing it for the first time, but when you have a truck that's your truck out there and it gets into an incident, it kind of makes you sweat a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But that was a heck of a save right there for sure. And I know right now he's hating it because all he's saying is like, man, there go my tires.
Absolutely, there go your tires. And it's also letting Josh kind of escape off the front now, up to about 1.5 seconds up off the front. So this is starting to get to be the territory where you're going to start to lose that draft of the truck up in front. And if you're starting to lose the tires by racing side by side and getting little slideways, that can definitely affect you over the rest of this long green run that we've been having. Cody Reeder and Eric Sable working through some traffic there. He sits quite a jump back here to find Torrin Schertz. He's 3 seconds back from Cody Reeder at the moment. So this has really started to open up here, Christian.
This is the stage in the race where everything calms down, everyone spreads apart through the long green flag run, and they're setting up for green flag pit stops here because, like I said earlier, they can only make it 45 laps, and this is a 60-lap green flag run, so they will have to start pitting here, I would say, within the next 10 to 15 laps, I would say. It's going to determine, I think the short pit is going to be the way to go, but I don't know if maybe Ronnie would agree with me on that one. But I think short pitting is always better because you get fresher tires earlier. So we see possibly an incident with Craig Schroeder as he gets into the wall and goes for a ride here through the grass. Doing the lawn mowing services today.
Well,
I just always have the mindset of being the first one in, whoever you're racing against. As long as you're that first one in, then you got that one lap of like fresher tires to get out there and just running as hard as you can to try to make up all that time.
All this strategy yet to come to decide exactly which lap you're going to bail off of the green flag track and head down onto that pit road. Try to make no mistakes as you enter pit road and get down to that extremely slow pit lane speed. Always a difficult thing to execute so perfectly. And of course, these cold brakes, you're coming down, hot tires, cold brakes into your pit box, and got to make sure you get that thing stopped perfectly. Always tricky thing to do. Cody Reeder and Eric Sable, though, still racing it out for that second spot.
A little payback there. Eric Sable gets into the 85, gets him a little loose.
Well,
this is just hard battling. This isn't intentional in any way. This is just two guys going as hard as they can for second place.
I think the official term is that's rubbing and rubbing is racing. But either way, swapping a little bit of paint out there between Reeder and Sable backing off, giving a little bit of space to Reeder. I think he's had enough for the moment. And Christopher Heights back here now engaged in a side-by-side battle with Keegan Bitzer. Keegan has been having a good run, I think, but caught up in a couple of incidents earlier. Now finds himself up in 8th place, racing, as I mentioned, side-by-side with Christopher Heights. So Bitzer and Heights racing on here for that position. We see a couple of trucks come down onto pit road. We've got Todd Schneider in the pits at the moment. Sean Briscoe making his pit stop. Here he is on pit road, just having taken on tires and fuel for the remainder of this race.
This pit stop is important because this might bring in the rest of the field. They see Sean Briscoe pitting. They might want to come in. I still don't think he's got enough speed on those new tires with that right side damage that he got from hitting the wall. But it's going to be interesting to see if this maybe forces the hand of some of these leaders to come in. I believe he was 9 seconds back, so I think they still got enough time on their tires that they can run a few more laps here.
Well, Conover's going to try to stay out there for a bit longer. His last lap of 33.02, just to give you some sort of parameter for figuring how far off this pace has fallen. His fastest lap of 31.38. So, I mean, we're getting close to 2 seconds off of what their best lap pace was. And so what we're seeing now is Sean Briscoe trying the undercut strategy and trying to get underneath all of these other drivers whose times are falling off by getting some fresh tires, going to get back out there and try and get some faster laps in and possibly be able to increase his position just by doing that. But Brady Moats on pit road. There you see Joey Stats as well, just behind for Nightmare Motorsports. They are making their way off of pit road. for the final time today, potentially, assuming we don't get another caution that's an advantageous one for them to grab some tires with. But Josh Conover completing lap number 101, now working on 102. And we are getting very, very close to our 20 to go segment presented by Snyder Graphics. Be getting that up there in just a moment, but good stuff so far here in Kansas in round number 8 for the NORA Truck Series 2023. I'm joined here. My name's Trevor Greenfield, and I'm here with Christian Snyder and Ronnie Norman, one of the drivers who's unfortunately crashed out of this race here today. Too much damage repair. But, hey, Ronnie, we're seeing Eric starting to respond. The leaders are starting to respond to Sean Briscoe's strategy.
Saw Raider pit last time there.
Yeah, no, he got on the pit road really smooth. Hopefully he don't slide through the box. Should hopefully gain a little bit here on Conover, who I believe will probably be coming in this next time by.
Like Trevor said, it's 2 seconds a lap right now on fresher tires. Oh no! Conover gets into the wall. Oh, that's big damage there for the right side.
I completely missed it. I was looking away. Josh Conover made contact with the wall.
Yeah, real heavy contact with the wall. He's got a big scrape down the right side, and that's a product of old tires, just pushing it a little bit too hard maybe. I don't know if it's going to affect him whenever he pits here. He should have pit this lap. I'm not sure why he's staying out there on these old tires, maybe hoping for a caution, but he's losing 2 seconds a lap to the 9 and the 85 right now.
That's just the thing about these old tires too, is that whenever you're coming out of these corners, you're in such a groove where you're like, all right, like I'm at my point where I can get back on the throttle and not hit the wall, and then just that one time it just bites you, and then there you're just stuck with it the rest of the race.
Well, Bitzer makes his way down onto pit lane. I'm sure a lot of these drivers itching to get those fresh tires. You see a lot of the paint off the side of Cody Dorsey's machine. That's looking a lot worse for wear. And finally, Conover makes it down. And you can see all that damage to the right side of Conover's machine as Christian Snyder was mentioning there. Look at that right side on that truck. It's not all bashed in too much. Maybe a little bit of damage up on the right front, but oh my goodness, that is not as pretty as it was not very long ago. And they're not going to fix any of that damage, I don't think, here in this pit stop. Probably just optional repairs on that machine, but that is your leader who's into the pits. And just as we say that, so then you look at, Sean Briscoe's times, 31:77 last time by. So if that doesn't say, a 1.5 second difference in those lap times, and Sean Briscoe certainly understands. He's talked about also doing road course racing. You do the same thing in road course racing. You're looking for that lap time fall off and when you want to make the decision to come in and take new tires. And he's certainly no fool when it comes to this kind of strategy. Torrance Shirts into the pit lane for the final time for BS Motorsports, and his teammate Mark Bremkamp. They're both out of that second and third spot, and now we see Brian Jones up there into the lead once again, but unfortunately, Brian is running on fumes at this point. He's going to have to bring it back into the pits. I'm sure he would love a yellow flag to come out right now, but Brian...
Oh, he locked him up.
Well...
Oh, no. Keep it off the wall. Oh. That might be a caution. I don't know. He's going to get going here. That's one of those iffy spots that it could have been a caution if iRacing deemed it so, but he was able to get it back going, and that's just further hurting him for tonight. I mean, he had that penalty, and now the incident coming into pit road, so real rough night for Brian Jones and his points. As you see, Cody Reeder in the lead here. He's starting to improve on those points, and Sean Briscoe as well. He's, I believe, in second. With that damage to his right side, so he's going to capitalize and maybe be able to get back up into the points lead.
Reeder, he's swept the stages tonight, didn't he?
Yes, Reeder won stage 1 and 2, and now finds himself in the lead.
Yeah.
And I also should note that with Briscoe running in a Toyota, we now have all 3 makes in the top 3. Cody Reeder there in the Chevy for KPR, Sean Briscoe in a Toyota, and Eric Sable in the Ford for JRC. So Briscoe managing to recover, which is good because his dad's watching on out there. I'm sure wants to see his son do well. But he had a scare there not very long ago where he got up into the wall and started to drift backwards. Either way, he's recovered very well. Up into second. 24 spots grabbed here so far tonight for Sean Briscoe. And once again, what can be said about Eric Sable in his debut here on VirtualRacing.Network in the NORA Truck Series? Slots right in and right onto the pole position. Here he's running in third spot at the moment and looking strong with just 24 laps remaining here at Kansas. Doing a fabulous job. Jacob Gladelich up 20 spots, hanging out in 4th spot right now. He's got that Drift King all the way up there towards the pointy end of the field, and he's got a chance at a potential victory here as he blinks for a second, or we did. But either way, he's hanging on. The last in the top 5 is Tim Harper, who's currently right where he qualified. So I'm sure he'd be happy to bring home a 5th place. He's had plenty of these races slip away from him in the late going. Josh Conover, he did have that damage, but he seems to be okay right now. Last lap 32:21, so that is a pretty competitive time. It's not as fast as Cody Reeder with a 32.03, but faster than Sean Briscoe with a 32.38. So looks like Josh back on the pace, and it's good news for the Josh Conover fans out there. Brady Moats, 3 positions dropped for Ready Direct Racing from where he started. He was running at the front for so long, but right now back in 7th. Still got a chance though on Josh Conover. Joey Stats for Nightmare. He's up a position from where he started, but Stats was flirting with the top 3 earlier. Now running in 8th. And Torrin Schertz for BS Motorsports. He leads his teammate Mark Brenkamp for BS back there in 9th and 10th. And with 22 to go, it is Cody Reeder who's opened up a 1.85 second gap over Eric Sable. And right now, it's all starting to kind of fall into Cody Reeder's hands. He had the truck to take stage 1 and stage 2. Christian, this is looking pretty phenomenal for Cody here in stage 3.
Reeder, the reason he's out front right now, he pit 1 lap sooner than Eric Sable did, and he was able to capitalize on 1 lap fresher tires, and that's where the 2-second lead has come from. With those new tires, he ran a very quick lap whenever he pit that short pit there.
Well, and with that, it's 20 laps to go. Presented by Snyder Graphics. You'll see the Facebook link there to get over to Snyder Graphics and get yourself a new car wrap or a new truck wrap, whatever kind of wrap you need on one of these vehicles for iRacing, and get your NASCAR groove on. Snyder Graphics has what you need. With 20 to go, Christian, this is starting to fall in Cody Reeder's hands, but Eric Sable starting to fall back also a little bit. Sean Briscoe starting to get closer, though, to Eric Sable. I think it's starting to come back possibly towards Briscoe, but we'll see how this can work out here in the last 20 laps. It's going to be tough for anybody to beat Cody's steady pace.
Yeah, without a caution right now, I believe Cody Reeder, he's got it in his hands, so only he can mess up right now. So I think this is all down to him just running nice, clean, smooth laps, and he could easily win. Granted, there's no cautions. Hopefully I didn't jinx that. But Cody Reeder, we've said it all season. He's a front runner for sure, and he has proven it again tonight. Being the leader here with 20 or under 20 to go here.
Well, KPR Motorsports has absolutely left their mark here on the NORA Truck Series, and it looks like it's in position here tonight, but still a handful of laps to go. An ill-timed caution could certainly change everything. But Eric Sable, he's put in a great effort. He's, I think, on any other night, to say that you came home second in the NORA Truck Series would be that would be so satisfactory. But Ronnie, I'm telling you, I mean, if you qualify a pole position, you're up there in the lead. To take second place, it's just it's so close to being sweet, but it's just a little bittersweet to take a second place after flirting with the front.
Yeah, I know a whole lot about that from last Tuesday, Trevor, so appreciate the memories there, pal.
It seems like it's a regular occurrence for you, Ronnie, but at the same time, second place is pretty sweet in the points. I know Eric just racing for owner points here tonight, but certainly you've had your share of second places, and I'm sure it's not long before we're going to see Norman's face back in victory lane. But either way, Sable having a great run on those owner points for JRC and doing a fantastic job here on his debut. Sean Briscoe, though, looks like maybe that contact with the wall, and he wasn't able to really undercut enough to get himself all the way up to the front. He did manage to get from 7th to 3rd with that undercut, but I think that's as far forward as it's coming, or at least that's what it looks like right now, as it's now 4 seconds all the way up to Cody Reeder. Looking a little bit further back, this is Jacob Gladelich. As I mentioned, he's gained 20 positions for Brian Powell Motorsports, and you know, that's it's a great effort from Jacob. And right now, sitting in that top 5, he's one of those other drivers that's really had a lot of battles and really had to try to stay clean here tonight just to make sure that he gets in a finish. He's been taken out of a lot of races, but you can see Brady Motes now. It kind of had a little bit of a wiggle there coming off of the corner, but he was about a half a second back from Torrin Schertz. So Brady racing hard here to try to get back up into that top 5, but I'm not sure that he's going to find his way up there tonight. He's trying to look through the field. Everybody is just kind of spread out at the moment. Everybody's just sort of getting through the last of this race here. In 8th place, it's Joey Stats, who is trying to get through. He's gained 1 spot so far, but I mean, really, he is trying to get as many positions as he can. It's like any of these drivers. You see how much paint has been scraped off the left side of that truck, the number 43. But he's still got a chance to go at Brady Motes here, who seems to be falling back through the field. Now it's about 0.6 of a second up there to Brady.
Saw that damage become a factor for him after he made contact with Eric Sable, actually for the lead about 50 laps ago. So that damage clearly being a factor for him, as he's outside the top 5 now after battling for the lead earlier in this stage.
Well, in Nightmare Motorsports, having a little bit of a resurgence here in NORA, and certainly all of these drivers trying to do their best here to get up into the points, but it's easier said than done. I mean, at the end of it, you can get up there for maybe one of the stages or try to hold at the front for a little bit of time. There's Brady in the wall.
Yeah, Brady Motes gets into the wall pretty hard there out of 2. Loses all of his momentum and loses, I believe, only 1 spot. As now, here comes he's a lap down, I believe, Tyler Dixon there in the 79.
Well, he's losing time very quickly also to Tim Harper, who's coming on quick here, so looks like things going from bad to worse for Brady. He's now slid back to 8th and dropped 4 spots from where he started. He was given Ready to Wreck Racing a great debut here tonight, but just things kind of going south here towards the end of the race for Brady, unfortunately. Tim Harper now about 2 seconds back, although Brady seems to have recovered that truck all right. Here's Tim Harper. Of course, he's had a couple of incidents here tonight. He's rubbed some paint for sure, but Tim always not afraid to go out there and race hard. So we look back up there in the front for a moment.
3 wide moment right there.
Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. It was a little scary. 3 wide headed into the corner, and we're going to see that again with Brady now getting very close here, trying to work.
Like he's just going to tuck in behind Guileless here for the moment.
Yeah, now Guileless is a lap down, and Brady still trying to get back up there, so he's about 1.25 seconds back from Joey Stats. But we look back up forward here, and this is a battle that could be brewing here in the closing stages of this race. Jacob Gladelich and Josh Conover. Conover about 0.6 of a second back, and That time's starting to come down ever so much. Vladelich hanging on to that 4th spot. He's, like I said, he's been very quiet, very careful tonight, not really causing a ruckus out there, banging wheels or anything, but he's managed to take that Brian Powell Motorsports machine and hold on to that 4th position, and I think he's just kind of avoided incidents. He's stayed very clean, and Christian, I mean, that's a very conservative way to hold on, but sometimes it's the race where you want to do that. Just wear those tires evenly and hold on for dear life.
Typically, the only time that I can get a top 5 whenever I'm behind the wheel is whenever I stay out of wrecks. but yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job. And Josh Conover did a great job recovering from hitting the wall here, trying to work on 4th place. So the damage didn't affect him too bad to the point where he's outside the top 10. So a great recovery for him.
Well, and it's that long run pace that seems to be paying dividends here as we've had these very long green flag stints. And Ronnie, we were talking about that at Martinsville, just managing those tires and staying really clean on those tires and how you use them through the whole length of the stint. It really did play a factor there. It could be playing a factor here tonight as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first started in that stage 1, we got
caution. Oh my.
Oh,
this changes everything.
It absolutely does, and it's Blake Freeman. We'll have to see if we can get the camera on him. There he is, sitting sideways in the 25. So Blake gets
with
it
his
going
teammate
again. This was just a moment ago. He comes right up the track.
The spotter dropped the goggles there. Wasn't able to tell him that there was a car high.
Well, you know, sometimes you have a real life spotter and it's better than having the iRacing cardboard spotter, but definitely that iRacing spotter has let us all down at least once in our iRacing careers. And that might have been the moment where he was, you know, he was in the bathroom and, you know, just taking a flying shot at it. Oh, you're clear, Blake. So Blake just came up the track, and unfortunately, the yellow comes out. But this is a heck of a move right here. Cody Reeder leads the whole group down pit lane. Are we going to see them?
You have to stop here. You have to take 4 tires, I think.
You have to take
Ronnie,
all 4,
do you
Ronnie?
agree?
I mean, you might as well, if you got them, you might as well just use them. I feel this should be their last set for the race, too.
Well,
it's going to be interesting.
Is there any advantage to taking 2 tires and beating everyone else out?
Nah, I feel like after that long run, your left sides are going to be wore down too. So, because even, I mean, I think when in that first caution, there was a lot of people that pit and some of us that didn't, and they came flying through the field on us. So I think either way, you're going to want 4 freshies for sure as Sable beats Reeder off pit road.
Yeah, this is big. With that first pit box, he was able to floor it out of there. Eric Sable, the new leader here, has Sean Briscoe 3rd, it looks like, Vladelich 4th, and it looks like Torn Shirt's going to come out of the pits in 5th. Maybe Josh stayed in the pits to fix the damage, I believe, because he was formerly in 5th.
Wow, and he's still sitting on pit road along with Brady Moats. So I do wonder about Josh. Maybe he just sensed he could get some of this damage repaired. Unfortunate for him, though, to have to drop all those positions, although maybe he feels like he can get it back here. But either way, it looks like Eric Sable able to, and indeed Josh does get back underway. Eric Sable able, with this yellow flag, able to get back out in front of Cody Reeder and Sean Briscoe, and that will give him the lead heading back to the green flag. We're going to be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. The conclusion of this race, green-white checker, coming up here. Stay tuned. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. It's Trevor Greenfield. Alongside me is Christian Snyder and Ronnie Norman. Ronnie, your driver Eric Sable for JRC Sim Team out in front. You think he's got the pace and the ability to win this one? He's got Sean Briscoe right next to him. This could be, this is a very, very competitive front group here.
Yeah, no, for sure. When you got the leader who got also the pole for the race, you feel pretty good with him sitting up here on the front row, leading this thing back to green. I expect him to get one heck of a jump here on this restart.
Christian, what's your call?
We saw a contact between Cody Reeder and Sable earlier, and Cody Reeder's right behind him, so this is going to be interesting to see if Cody Reeder pays him back. Has a green flag being held here, and they are going here. Sable with a good jump, but Reeder's still right with him here.
Well, the flashbulbs pop up there in the stands, and we are too wide for second, but it's Sable who marches forward and gets about a 3-car length lead. And it's Jacob Gladelich who moves up into third, takes that position now tentatively from Sean Briscoe. He's going to hold the inside. Gladelich for Brian Powell Motorsports holding that bottom position. Just 2 laps to go here. It'll be one this time by at the line.
Reeder going to have a big run here down the front stretch. We'll see if he takes it into one. He's going to dive low.
Reeder
Sable
goes
with
low.
The block. He goes around.
And Reeder somehow saves it. Briscoe moves forward. We're still green here.
Briscoe in the wall.
Gladelich manages to take the lead. Reeder drops back. Briscoe in the wall, dropping back even further. Here comes Timmy Harper, and the checkered flag is out, and it's going to be Jacob Gladelich who steals the show here in Kansas.
Phenomenal finish there. Oh man. That's the first win for Jacob Gladelich here in NORA. Impressive run there. Able to steal one. Has the contact up front. We mentioned it. Sable and Cody Reeder had a little bit of history throughout this race, and it comes down to the last lap, a little bump from Reeder after Sable went to block.
My goodness me, none of us picked Gladelich for the win. And as you said, Christian, it was something else to watch. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last lap, and we'll see exactly what you just said as Gladelich now celebrates. Let's take a look at how it all unfolded. This was from Gladelich's point of view. He was racing side by side with Briscoe for that 3rd spot. And there Reeder makes the move in front.
And Sable came down to block just a little bit too late, saves it. And then Reeder chases it up the track, gets into Sean Briscoe, trying to block him, but just completely forgot about the 14 on the bottom, and he's able to squeak in there and take the win.
Well, and you've got to hand it to Jacob Gladelich, who didn't lift. He just stayed flat to the floor and didn't think, there's going to be a caution for sure or anything like that. Wasn't cautious, just kept that foot flat to the floor, and the Drift King puts it up there in the front. What a fantastic finish. Second place ended up being Cody Reeder, who actually recovered quite well there, and Tim Harper, after all was said and done, ended up 3rd. There you see number 48 alongside, congratulating Joey Stats. Very happy for, I think, Jacob Gladelich, and Gladelich sits there at the start-finish line, and with that, we're going to get a chance here to go ahead and bring up our final results for you here at round number 8 for the NORA Truck Series, presented by Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery. Here it is, Jacob Gladelich, your winner for Brian Powell Motorsports. Congratulations to him. He stuck it out and wins the Abby Sweet Treat Victory Award for the sweet move of the race. Cody Reeder there in 2nd place for KPR Motorsports. Tim Harper takes 3rd place. Sean Briscoe with 4th. Torrance Shirts with 5th place for BS Motorsports. And 6th going to Brady Moats for Ready to Wreck Racing. Josh Conover taking 7th place. And 8th place going to Eric Sable, who unfortunately there loses the lead on the last lap. It's unfortunate to always end up with contact taking out the leader, but nevertheless, Eric had a fantastic race, started up on the pole, was running there at the end, and it's unfortunate for him to end up back in 8th. But Mark Bremkamp in 9th place for BS Motorsports, Christopher Heights for Harper in 10th, Joey Stats in 11th, Keegan Bitzer in 12th, Cody Dorsey in 13th, Craig Schroeder in 14th, Brian Jones ends up in 15th after a roller coaster type night, only 5 seconds back, but still has to settle for 15th after leading some of this race. Tyler Dixon ends up in 16th for Kingdom Motorsports, Nick Geilis in 17th, Blake Freeman in 18th. And the rest of the order, Andrew Stab, Todd Schneider, Chad Engel, Todd Slauson, Dylan Walterman, Ronnie Norman, Brad Fulham, and Jason Conover, your final runner, and he didn't really get in much of a night tonight. But I'll tell you what, it was Jacob Gladelich's night. Let's go ahead and see if we can try to catch up with some of these drivers as they're just starting to pop into the booth here. And let's see, I think we can catch up with our 3rd place finisher here. Hey, Christian, would you like to see if you can catch up with Timmy Harper?
Timmy Harper, you finished 3rd. I hope you're here. You finished 3rd. Great race for you tonight. Talk about your run.
Lucky I got 3rd, I guess, because I went to the back a few times, and all of it was just a look at the draw, I guess.
Yeah, up and down night for you for sure. We saw the contact early with Brian Jones, sent you to the rear. You were able to work your way up methodically up to the front and get into a good position here. Tell us how the truck was tonight. Was it kind of loose? We saw a couple trucks get around. So was it loose out there? Or?
I guess it was depending on how you set your tires, because sometimes it was loose and sometimes it was tight. Like if you got up there and run the top, it'd be loose at the end of the run. But if you kind of gradually moved your way up there, you'd kind of work it in as it would work out pretty good. But I do want to apologize to Brian because I didn't mean to get into him. Sparta said I was clear, that's why I didn't let out, and obviously it clipped him a little bit. I don't know how close it was, but I didn't have any damage from it, and he said he didn't. So, but hopefully we're good. So.
Oh, either way, you come out here and you get podium. So great job on that. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or thank tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank y'all for putting on a good broadcast, and can't wait to watch it. And thank Josh for putting on the league, and thank my mom and everybody that watches and supports me.
Again, congrats on 3rd. Next week, I believe we're going to Darlington. So, how do you feel about Darlington next week?
I feel pretty good. I think I got top 10 finishes there last year. So, hopefully I've gained a little bit, and hopefully we can get stage points next week. It kind of sucks that I didn't get stage points tonight. But we finished tonight, at least. So.
Yeah, again, congrats and good luck next week.
I appreciate it.
So that was Timmy Harper reporting in, doing a fantastic job, managing to get up there and get 3rd spot, having incidental contact earlier. But, you know, we always see Timmy posting on Facebook. He's always so thrilled to get into these races and always wants to do so well and have a great finish here tonight. Able to take 3rd spot due to a couple of trucks getting together up in front of him. But let's see if we can pull in Cody Reeder here, who manages to take 2nd place in a phenomenal run here tonight. Cody, congratulations on your run here tonight. You ended up in 2nd place. You stole both of the first 2 stages, and I was talking with Christian just saying, my goodness, I think he's got the truck here to beat, but that last race caution really threw things aside. How was the truck tonight, and congratulations on your 2nd place?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, truck was really good, really good. Kind of class of the field, I thought. throughout the race. Just didn't get it done.
Didn't get it done for the end, but you still managed to get points for first and second stage. And of course, as I'm sure it does feel a little bittersweet to not get that final victory and be in victory circle for Abby Sweet Treats, round number 8 here at Kansas. But either way, you had a stellar run out there tonight. What was the key out there to staying at the front? Was it tire management? Was it something else that you were doing to try to work with the truck? Because it seemed like you were almost in a class of your own.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just managing tires, knowing when to go top, knowing when to go bottom, when to go sometimes both on the same lap, when to lift when someone's on your door, when to lift when someone's chopping you, when to lift when you're getting blocked 2 lanes down the backstretch. That was all kind of involved in that.
Well, talk us through that final lap and what happens. Of course, always unfortunate when a little bit of contact can be made. You're following so closely to Sable, and you head down into turn 1, and it looks like you take... I mean, you certainly moved the truck into position to take advantage of a gap that was there. Is that what you felt like happened? You were just trying to take advantage of the gap?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good run on the draft coming out of 4 on the front stretch, and I was shocked he left the bottom open. I was clearly there, but... yeah, I mean, it's the last lap. I'm not going to lift, but if the roles were reversed, I probably would have lived to fight off of 2. But that's the way it went, and congrats to the 14.
Either way, absolutely. You still had a fantastic race truck out there. It's got to make you feel good about heading over to Darlington. How do you feel about Darlington next week? What can we look forward to?
Yeah, it's honestly, Darlington's probably my favorite track to run. Doesn't mean it's my best track by any means, but I just love like how on edge you are and trying to keep it off the wall and brake and throttle and all that stuff. I really love Darlington. Like I said, it's never really historically been a very good racetrack for me, statistically, but I'll try and manage the truck, keep it out of the wall, and just see where we end up.
Well, either way, you put on a fantastic show out there tonight. Anybody you'd like to thank before we close out the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, thank you guys for putting it on. That's awesome. Our friends, family get to watch. Thanks KPR Motorsports. Thanks for Garrett spotting me throughout the race. Thanks for my buddy Albert tagging along. We actually, it stings a little bit. Like this is my home track, so really want to get my first win here, but it is what it is. Hopefully we'll be in the playoffs in the fall, where I get to maybe do it again. So, yeah, overall, good night. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you, Cody, and good luck with the rest of the season, my friend.
Thanks.
So that is Cody Reeder, the number 85. He took second place here tonight. He took a couple of the stage wins. He looked fantastic all night long, and what a great race we saw here at Kansas. Really one for the ages, if I have to say, and quite thrilling all the way to the end. As mentioned by Christian, we will be heading to Darlington next week. I'm just trying to get that graphic up on the screen. There we go. So we will be heading to Darlington next week, and there you can see the whole rest of the schedule. North Wilkesboro coming up, not very far off. Charlotte Motor Speedway coming up as well, but Darlington is going to be a fun one, and we look forward to that always. And certainly, as Cody Reeder said, it's just one of those tracks where some drivers just really love it. Christian, how do you feel about Darlington, and how do you think it's going to race for these trucks?
Well, me personally, as a driver, I do not like Darlington, never have. It's a driver's track, and I'm not that good. But, I mean, it always puts on good shows, a lot of battling, and a lot of attrition. And we're going to see that wall get painted black. I can tell you that. A lot of trucks will get into it. But the rest of the season, man, so many good tracks this year coming up. You know, North Wilkesboro, the first time NORA has ever gone there. I can't wait for that one. I'll be in the booth for that one. Wouldn't miss it for the world. Gateway is another great track coming up. This schedule, if you're not in the league, now is the time to get into it, because there's still a chance for you to get into the playoffs. It's a win and you're in system. So if you're out there watching and you're not a part of this, now's the time to be a part, because there's so many good tracks coming up and so many more chances for you to get into the playoffs and be good here.
Well, and you called it. We certainly saw Jacob Gladelich do it tonight. He was so quiet, and we were just making comments on it, how he had been so conservative and quiet, but he was in the right place at the right time. And with a little bit of skill here in the NORA Truck Series, you too can be a part of it. There's a link down in the description of this video if you'd like to join the NORA Truck Series. Christian, this was a great race here at Kansas. I don't think we could have asked for anything more.
Yeah, an absolutely stunning finish. It seems to be that way all season long. We've had amazing finishes. That was our first green-white checkered finish that we've had this season, so really impressed with that. And the excitement that these guys put on, I can't wait till tomorrow.
Well, if we see 2 and 3 wide at Darlington, that'll be something else. But as you said, we'll look forward to tomorrow night here on VirtualRacing.Network. I want to thank, of course, Ronnie Norman for joining us up here in the booth tonight. And, of course, congratulations to Jacob Gladelich on his first victory here in this season, and many more, I'm sure, yet to come. Also, thanks to Abby's Sweet Treats, who provides the presenting sponsorship for tonight. Abby's Sweet Treats Home Bakery tastes so good. It'll make you feel great inside. They look great. Head on over to Abby's Sweet Treats on Facebook, abcobb@gmail.com, and get yours today. With that, we're going to close it out here. I hope everybody enjoyed tonight. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and, of course, like this video, and you'll get so much more in your inbox here from VirtualRacing.Network. We'll see you here tomorrow night, the same channel. It'll be me and Christian, and we're going to get to be right back here at Kansas, only a little bit faster with the NORA Cup Series. Until then, take care, get some good sleep. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.